Okay, port placement. Your feelings are valid. It is scary. The unknown is always scary. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know what your surgery is going to be like. You don't know what your recovery is going to be like. It also means that shit is getting real, that you are about to start your cancer ass kicking journey, and it is terrifying. So your feelings are absolutely valid. So I was diagnosed on December 13th of 2022, this last December. And then about 2 weeks later, on the 28th, is when I had my port placement. And in between that time, I had a gazillion tests and EKGs and blah, blah, blah. But I went through all those motions, but leading up, like the few days leading up to port placement, is when like shit really got real for me. And yeah, your feelings are totally valid. I was also freaking out. But now that I've been through it, I can look back and say it honestly was not bad at all. Let me walk you through it. So this is me and my hubby. We just parked, about to head into the hospital, and hey, look who still has hair. Here's us in the waiting area. For my hospital, there's like a little iPad, and we did the check-in, and then when they called our name, they took us into a little office area and had us like complete some paperwork and stuff. And then you go back out into the waiting room and wait for the nurse to call you. That was kind of a mess. That took a while. That is just from my particular hospital for that particular day. I don't know what happened, but I'm thinking somebody dropped the ball during my pre-registration. So my nurse ended up saying screw it, and she came out and just got me and took it upon herself to just go ahead and take me back and get me started. This is the point where I said goodbye to my husband, and he went home, and they called him when I was done. Oh, hubby picked me up around 6 p.m. So I believe our check-in was like 12:30, and he picked me up around 6. And it sounds like a long time, but the procedure itself was like less than 90 minutes. You got to take into consideration your pre-op check-in, you change into your gown, blah, 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 answer more questions, and then, and recovery time. So yeah, you're going to be there a good part of the day, but it's not all just for the surgery. Okay, so now I'm back in pre-op. They gave me a gown. They had me change. Pretty sure I was just down to my undies. This gown is amazing. It doesn't look like it from the picture, but there was like a hole in it, and they hook this like shop vac looking hose up to it, and there was like a thermostat, and it blows air into the gown, kind of like an air blanket, and you could control the thermostat. And so when I had mine done, it was like late December, so it was chilly, so it was so nice. I got to crank that sucker up and have nice warm air. It was amazing. I wish I had one at home. But while I'm chilling in the pre-op bed, it was like a TV up in the corner, and I had a remote control. The nurse is getting me checked in. They will confirm who you are, so on and so forth, why you're there. The surgeon came and introduced himself, explained everything that was going to be done, asked if I had any questions. Then the anesthesiologist, Sharon, she was amazing. She came in, introduced herself. She actually asked me if I wanted to see the port, and because I'm a nerd and I totally want to like know as much as possible, I said yeah, and I will show you that in the next picture. But it was really nice. Everybody came, they were kind, they were caring, they answered any questions that I had. They did hook me up to an IV, and I am putting my head over the needle in case nobody wants to see that. During the pre-op time, they're just giving you IV fluids to keep you hydrated. And then before they took me back, they gave me good drugs. Drugs that make you don't worry about anything. All of your anxieties and stress will be gone. So don't you sweat it. As long as you can get to this point, you will be good to go. So in the next clip, I'm going to show you the port. If you don't actually want to see it, look away. It's not gruesome or scary or anything. I think it's interesting and educational. So here we go. Okay, so this is my port. There are different ones available, but they're all very similar. Mine's a portacath. It is very triangular, and on each corner of the three three corners, there's like little bumps, and that's how your nurses, your chemo nurses, will kind of feel around and make sure that they've got your port lined up and they know where to administer the needle to give you the chemo. It sounds scary. It's not. I love having a port. It has been a blessing. It saves the wear and tear on your veins. I have great veins. Nurses love me. I also used to donate blood before I was diagnosed with cancer, but I would donate blood regularly, and they 9 times out of 10 would get me first stick. So this kind of stuff doesn't bother me, but having a port has made it so much easier. They can do your lab work through your port, and then they administer your chemo through your port, and it's awesome. They only stick you once, and then they just leave you accessed. I've done a video on that. You can scroll back and see it, but they only stick you once. So you're not getting poked multiple times during your chemo days. That's awesome. You can also numb it with lidocaine, and I've done a video on that. You just glob some on, cover it up with like saran wrap or whatever dressing you choose to use. And then by the time I get to my chemo center and they're gonna do my chemo, I don't even feel when they access my port. It is fantastic. But yeah, this is the port, the little circular part. That part is a little bit softer, and that's where the needle actually accesses you. And then the back is hard plastic so that the needle cannot go through. This is a zoomed out picture of the port. Don't be alarmed. That whole straw bit is not going to be in you. It's kind of a one size fits all. They have an extra long one, and then they will trim it down to the appropriate size for your body. Okay, so once the time comes that they're going to actually take you to the operating room, that is when they put the really, really good drugs in my IV, and I didn't have a care in the world. I was just wee. So for me, I was in twilight. I have heard of other people like being put completely under. I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It didn't bother me, so I didn't push back either. But yeah, they gave me good drugs. So I was sedated and loopy and happy, and I felt nothing. It was amazing. Then they used a small needle, and they numbed all of this area and, confirmed that I couldn't feel anything, and I could not. So because I was awake, they kept checking on me, especially the anesthesiologist, to make sure I was comfortable and calm and I couldn't feel anything that they were doing. And I was like, nope, good to go. I just laid on the table with my head the opposite direction, and they did what they needed to do. And yeah, it was like less than 90 minutes. I'm sure it was actually less than that, but I was kind of loopy, and yeah, they scheduled me for 90 minutes, but I don't think it took that long. Oh, they also gave me warm blankets, like blankets that were in a warmer, since that OR was kind of cool, and that was kind of nice. I'm running out of time. Look for part 2.